basically in the past year and a half went from being a perfectly healthy person, like exercising 5 or 6 days a week, living as a teacher, going on hikes, enjoying outside time, all sorts of fun stuff, to kind of having this unexpected downhill experience where I ended up being diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis that resulted in ongoing symptoms like lots of joint pain, fatigue, etc. Not great. So once that happened, we started on a lengthy quest for the right medication. And eventually that led me to try a biologic that I had a really terrible allergic reaction to. That triggered all sorts of symptoms that were totally unexplainable to me, including heart palpitations and dizziness, and perhaps most strangely, an inability to tolerate cold weather. So I essentially was unable from like March of last year until the summer, and then again September pretty much until I started coming here, like unable to be outside in any weather that was like under 60 degrees. So it was incredibly scary, incredibly limiting, and I, after lots of searching, ended up finally, and probably 30 doctor appointments at least over the course of a year, ended up being diagnosed with dysautonomia. So we had been treating it like a cold allergy for a long time. I was unable to eat or drink anything cold because we were afraid I was going to go into shock. And finally, I was diagnosed by a traditional hospital as having dysautonomia, sent to a specialist in November of this year. And the first opening that specialist had was in December of 2023. At that point, I, as a teacher, was never sure when I was going to have a bout of dizziness, nausea, brain fog, heart palpitations, even in the middle of class. I straight up couldn't exercise at all. I was very anxious about all this, and it was limiting my daily life a great deal. And I also was feeling pretty hopeless about it because at that point we knew what was up, but I was unable to find treatment in sort of a more straightforward, like traditional approach that would work for me. So in the midst of that, I let myself be sad for a day and then started Googling. And thank God I found my way to Neurological Wellness Institute through that process this past winter. And so I've been here for about 2 months. Very first day, I was extremely nervous and I was a little bit freaked out. I didn't know much about the sort of therapies that would be used and the different pieces of the process that were assessed. Like I kept joking, felt a little Frankensteinian. Like I was like, what's going on? And I don't know what this is. And so in all that nervousness and anxiety though, one thing that was very clear from the very beginning was one, just how kind and like open and positive and welcoming everyone was from the moment I was on the phone with someone here all the way through my initial evaluation. Every single person I met was just so lovely and treated me like an individual person. And after now I'm gonna get choked up. Yeah, after like almost a year of or over a year at that point of feeling just like someone, just like a random person being like pushed in and out of tons of different specialist offices, and being told like either take this pill or deal with it, with not much actual resolution, to feel like I was being treated like a human, made a world of difference for me. And that was definitely one of the major things that made me want to come back. Secondly, I would say just leaving here on day one with such like a definitive and clear answer, like been said, here's what's happening to you. It's real. It makes sense. And I can explain it to you. It didn't mean, oh, everything will be easy and perfect. Like there was some real honesty about the fact that this was a process, that it wasn't linear, that we wouldn't know until I dove in how long it would take. So like the honesty was there. And also just like clear, specific understanding was so validating and made me feel hopeful for like particular concrete reasons, which was a real game changer for me. Oh yes, I got over feeling freaked out pretty quickly. One of the other highlights of being here is, while certainly working with Dr. Nick has been phenomenal, I also really love the work that I've gotten to do with Keela, who always takes me through the first 20 minutes of my therapies. Again, just like the personal touch, the remembering little things that I share, the like genuine investment in how I am doing and how things are working, giving me time to, like, in the middle of a therapy, really feel like, how am I feeling? What's actually going on? Is it better or not? Like, I felt no pressure to respond in certain ways, or like, I'm kind of a people pleaser, and so this inclination to be like, I'm good, everything's great, like, I never felt like I had to do that, and it felt like someone was on my team and in my corner with her, and so that has been really cool. Also, as soon as I got into the routine, and like to really understand, like Dr. Nick, was so great always at explaining, like, not just here's what we're going to do, but here's what it does. And like, I'm a very curious person, and like, I really want to understand not just what are we doing, but like, why are we doing it? Give me a general sense of kind of the mechanisms here and like what's going on. And so to feel like I wasn't just going through the motions, but that there were very specific reasons that I could understand, that was really huge as well. And then finally, I would say the personalized approach again. Like, ever since I was a baby, I had very particular challenges with my eyes that I had grown to live with, right, for my whole life. And I had wonderful care. You know, my parents got me the best ophthalmologist in our area, and like lots of great support. And we did get to a point where like there was nothing more that could be done. And so I got used to just like, this is what it is. And so when it became clear that some of those compensatory things that my brain was doing because of my eyes, like that was playing a role in this, it was really cool to see how all my therapies were personalized to meet my particular situation and my particular combination of, on one hand, like the challenges I had, but also I feel like the therapies were tailored to the things that I naturally was more inclined toward, or like was good at, or things that my brain like enjoyed or could respond well to. So it wasn't just like, here are all the things that are wrong with you, but was like, wow, you're really good at these things. Let's maximize your gifts so that we can help meet the needs of the things that you're struggling with. Yeah, so it's fun to be answering this question today, because I truly went from not being able to be outside. Like, I would basically layer up and like run from like my house to the car to work and back again. Like, that's how it was the whole end of last winter and this whole fall. And like this past weekend, I took on Saturday and Sunday hour-long walks, and it was like in the 40s, I think, and I never would have thought there would be a point in my life where that would feel like such a huge accomplishment. Like, that was normal life for me before, but it was a huge loss not being able to enjoy nature and the beauty of being outside and like walking on the lake for an hour on Sunday. I mean, they're like experiences that I had so normally before that made me feel like myself, and that connected me to my spirituality and my life and all these things, and to have those all like unexpectedly taken away was really awful. So I would say like the biggest thing would be access to outdoors, and then also just being able to count on my body when I'm doing my job as a teacher, not having to worry, oh my gosh, out of nowhere I'm going to get dizzy and then lose my train of thought and have to like pause. Or I gave a presentation back in September where the entire time I was just trying to discreetly like hold close to the podium because I felt like I was going to pass out and throw up. And all I was trying to do was like stand and talk about this thing I was very passionate about. And I never would have had to think about that before than I did. So just like more freedom to be me in the world and to share the things that I had become so accustomed to sharing and enjoying. So the progress continues, and I'm hopeful for what will happen in the weeks ahead. Your concerns are real. You matter as an individual, not just as another example of something that's hard, and you deserve treatment that considers like the fullness of who you are. And so just my hope for anyone dealing with these things is that you find people, one, as skilled as Dr. Nick and like creative, and to watch him like a kid on Christmas morning when something works. Like that's one of my favorite things about being here when we're doing a therapy and like something locks in or something improves, and like the genuine joy that that he like expresses when something is going well. Like everyone deserves to feel like your care providers are genuinely invested in your health and in your humanity. And I've really, I can't say how appreciative I am that I've gotten that here, especially after so many months of feeling sometimes invalidated and at other times just kind of unimportant. So yeah, this is, if you have access to a place like this, then I cannot stress enough and cannot support enough your desire to at least check it out and see if it's a good fit for your life and for your gifts and for your struggles. And yeah, sending love to anyone who's struggling.